Alright, today I'm going to review Autonomy. The Quest to Build the Driverless Car and How It Will Reshape Our World by Lawrence Burns. This book is a first-hand perspective of how driverless cars have been developed since the DARPA challenge, I think in the early 2000s. It's really interesting. It's not super technical. It doesn't give you a lot of insight into the future like the subtitle says, but it is a first-hand perspective. The author started his career at General Motors, and he worked his way up to the head of R&D. Yeah, I believe he is the head of the R&D program. And he oversaw a lot of their initiatives there, including the Driverless Car Program. GM was involved with some of the teams that did the DARPA, so the DARPA Grand Challenge. I think it was the driverless challenge out in the desert, and that's where this book starts off. It starts with the DARPA challenge, and it follows the teams and the people through those challenges, and then really those people end up becoming the main players in the rest of the driverless car story. And the author knows most of the people or has met them. And so it's really this great first-hand account of what happened, and it really develops all the characters that go into play and as it follows them throughout the book. And so it's really interesting look at like what happened to the ground level. But the book really, it read a lot more like a biography. There's been a couple books about Google or Steve Jobs, and this is really how this book reads. It's a narrative that starts at a specific time and just follows the events as they happen chronologically, and who's doing what and what are the developments and where are things going, what challenges are they doing. And I really like the book. As you might have noticed, I thought it was really interesting. I love that first-hand perspective. It's a quick read. It's not a super long technical read. It's not a real thinking one. It's one you can put on an audiobook and just listen to for a long time, but it's really captivating. I really feel like you start to know the people that are involved and the challenges and who's doing what, and I really liked it. The first-hand perspective is really a huge plus for me. There's all these little tiny details that really just make the story come to life, make the characters come to life, and all of the things that happen in this book, I think everyone will have seen. If you've been paying attention to driverless cars, you will have seen the events they're talking about. PBS, I think there's a Nova program where they followed the original DARPA challenge. I remember watching that many years ago. And then you see the news stories for all these companies and what they're doing and all the developments. And I'm in Scottsdale in Arizona, and they're testing driverless cars out here. So I saw a lot of the early prototypes when they came out here, because this has been a place where they've tested the driverless cars for a long time. So it was really interesting to get a behind-the-scenes look. And the author, Lawrence Burns, he really has kind of except for his association with GM, and I think he ended up working for Google and Waymo as a consultant for a while. But he's kind of a background character that he's a lot older than a lot of the other guys, because he was really late in his career. I mean, he was like an executive, really established when the story starts. So he's kind of like the old mentor, consultant guy for a lot of these people. But he has a nice grounded perspective for what's going on. It's a very even, it's a very neutral telling of the story. He doesn't seem to have strong biases in any way, which is really good. It's almost like a journalist wrote the book, but it has way more firsthand accounts and tidbits about the characters, which is really good. If you're interested in driverless cars and the story behind driverless cars, I would definitely read this book. It's a really great read. It's really entertaining. I wouldn't pick this book up if I was looking for a lot of technical information or economic implications or that kind of stuff. This is a story book. It's a story about the people that started driverless cars and what they went through from the start to now. It's really recent, just came out, it's very up to date. It talks about the Uber driverless car that killed someone in Tempe, Arizona, which I remember. I've been to that road. I've drank in that area where that happened, so it's very real to me when the story came out. And it's in the book, which was a nice plus. It feels very up to date, very current, and it's really interesting. And this driverless cars are going to change the world. They're going to have such a huge impact that it's really interesting to get in it and just see the inception of the story and how it developed and where all the people came from. So I definitely recommend this book if you're interested in the subject. It's a quick read, like I said before, but it's really enjoyable. I don't think you need the physical book. There's a couple pictures. There's a section in the middle that has some pictures in it, but that's it. I mean, those are the only pictures in the book. There's no charts, or very few, or maybe there's one in here. So if you have a commute, you could pick up the audiobook, and it'd be something that'd be really great to read while you're in the car. But definitely check it out if you're interested. Like, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. Got some more book reviews coming. I think the next review is going to be Superintelligence by Nick Bostrom. I've been working on that one for a while. It's a very dense book, so I've been taking my time with that one. I know a lot of people care about that book, so I also want to make sure it's a good review. But that's it. Thanks for watching the video.